Hi everyone, so this is the first in a mini-series of 3 videos covering 3 levels of analytical roles and a little bit of advice on, generally speaking, what employers are looking for at each of these levels. So we'll start off with junior analysts. As always, I caveat this with the acknowledgement that we recruit for lots of different types of analytical positions across customer insight, campaign and marketing effectiveness, digital and data science. So there will be obviously nuances to those briefs. But fundamentally, to start off with, if you're looking for a new role and you have 1 to 2 years experience, you're still kind of fairly junior, or if you're just starting out, there are a number of different key factors that clients are going to be looking for. So first of all, tools and technology is really, they're the first things that we would probably look for on a CV, and really the first questions we would ask a client so that we can get an understanding as to the level of expertise they want and what the kind of technology stack looks like in-house. Commonly, most businesses will want somebody who is using Excel, goes without saying, SQL coupled with another programming tool. So that would include R or Python, and in some cases SAS, although SAS is not so widely used anymore because it's quite expensive. And R and Python are still free and can do the same job, if not more. So if you're going to be focusing on upskilling at the moment, if you're on furlough or out of work, then I would absolutely be taking any free courses or paid courses that you can get around R and Python if you've already got SQL and Excel as a base. And that is to enable you to not only extract and manipulate the data, but also to perform more advanced and sophisticated analysis, building models, that kind of thing. So even at a junior level, it is preferable to see those skills in place. The next piece that we would come on to would be education. We would like to see somebody who's studied at a theoretical level a numerate subject. So I mentioned this previously in the graduate post that I did. Typical subjects would include maths and statistics, physics, chemistry, machine learning, computer science, engineering in some cases as well. I think that's it. I think I've covered off all of them. And so again, it's going to give you a really great grounding in analytics. It's unfortunate, but it really is an essential requirement these days to have at least a degree level understanding of one of those subjects. It's a very competitive landscape, so I think it's really worth investing into a degree if you want to get into analytics. Moving on from that, we've got commercial understanding. So even at a junior level, I think it's possible to demonstrate commercial understanding, and you can do this in a couple of different ways. If you've got experience already, try and talk about how your work links to essentially the bottom line of the company that you were working for. If it was an agency, you want to talk about how the work you delivered helped or impacted your clients, and it's always great if you can provide actual figures and statistics, uplift in ROI, increase in customer uptake or numbers, traffic to website, conversion rates, whatever it might be. You want to really be able to attribute your work to some kind of tangible outcome, and that just demonstrates to the potential employer that you're interviewing with that you can think of the bigger picture, that you're not just delivering prescriptive work to a brief, that you are actually able to understand the wider picture of the business overall and how analytics plays a part in that and how you play a part in the analytics. So that if you can do that, I think at junior level that would really make you stand out from the crowd, because people don't often get the chance actually to do that, to be fair as well. There is that kind of situation where perhaps you might be a bit of a cog in a wheel, but I think if you can try, you can always go above and beyond and try and demonstrate that understanding, and talk about perhaps, even if you haven't had the chance to do that, how you'd like to get into a role where that's a big part. After that, we were going to talk about the proactive nature. So that approach and that kind of attitude of always asking why. I think particularly with analytics, you'll find in a lot of businesses that there are lots of analytical projects going on, not unnecessarily, but perhaps the processes could be streamlined, made more efficient, automated. So I think it's really important when you get a brief through from a stakeholder, or when you're talking to somebody about a need that they might have, to really understand, okay, why do you need this information? How are you going to use it? Could we do it in a better way? And it's constantly demonstrating that you're thinking about, is this the best way to be doing things? Not necessarily is it the fastest. Is this going to give the client or the stakeholder the most useful outcome, the most useful piece of information or piece of insight or recommendation? So again, it just demonstrates a slightly different way of thinking. You're not just being given a brief and delivering, some reporting to it. You're trying to help solve a problem. You're trying to add value. So demonstrating that in an interview or in the CV is going to be really, really useful. So the last thing I want to cover is achievements. It's really, again, really useful, and it says a lot about the person if you include not only what you've done, in your jobs to date and what you did at university, but also this is the chance to shout about yourself. So what have you done in your jobs that you felt was an achievement, whether it was, again, tangibly contributing to some kind of performance within the company or within a team, or whether it's something that's a bit more personal, mentoring a colleague or getting involved in some voluntary work. It could be anything really, but I think, again, if you can demonstrate that you have the ability to separate day-to-day work and actual real achievement, actually progressing, doing something different, going above and beyond, it just makes the CV stand out a little bit more, and gives an insight into somebody's personality, and you will make certain assumptions off the back of that if you're reading a CV or if you're interviewing somebody. It's a bit like interests, if for example you're really into your sports, or you play a particular sport, you can make certain assumptions about that individual in terms of their commitment to training and discipline and things like that. So it's important to consider those aspects as well, I think, when you're interviewing or when you're putting together a CV, particularly at junior level. Again, as I was kind of referencing when I talked about graduates, if you haven't got lots of experience to draw on, you've got to get creative, and you've got to really think about you, who you are, what you bring to the table, what your aspirations are, and your ability to learn, and you've got to try and communicate that in an interview or get it across in a CV. And as I say, I think some of the examples that I've given there, particularly in terms of proactive nature, commercial understanding and achievements, they're really great opportunities for you to kind of get that information across. What else? I think that's probably it for junior analysts. If you've got any questions on that, let me know, but I think there's some kind of key points there that hopefully are useful. As always, if you've got any comments or questions, pop them in the comments box below, and have a good day.